We are roughly at the quarter time mark in the 2024 AFL season. There has already been a fair share of highlights and lowlights, with the overall picture of where each team sits becoming clearer. We also have a new set of facts to gather from the opening of the season, along with more from the past. Their 0-win, 5-loss start is Hawthorn's worst since 1970. A mix of injuries to important stars like Will Day, Mitch Lewis and pick 5 Nick Watson have left the overall squad light on. Pair this with regular performers such as Jai Newcomb, Connor Nash and even captain James Sicily being off their best has all contributed to the poor start in 2024. Now the 1970 Hawthorn side was 0-7, but the circumstances in each loss were far different. 4 of Hawthorn's 5 losses this season have been over the 4-goal margin, including 2 games where they've lost by 50 points. Well, in 1970, 4 of Hawthorn's first 5 losses were by less than 11 points, so in terms of percentage, this current day outfit is well behind. From that 0-win, 7-loss start, Hawthorn did push up and challenge for finals, winning 8 of their next 9 games to sit at an even 8-8 record after 16 games. However, 4 losses in a row diminished all possibilities of playing finals, which at the time meant you needed to finish top 4. Hopefully for Hawthorn's sake, they can get on a big winning streak and get some of their players back into form. Continuing on with the Hawthorn theme, and it was announced last week that Jason Dunstall will be elevated to legend status in the Hall of Fame. He becomes the 32nd member, joining the best of the best. His career records themselves probably fill enough time to make a video. His 1,254 goals sits him 3rd all time, only behind Tony Lockett and Gordon Coventry. His 4.66 goals per game average places him 4th all time, behind only Peter Hudson, John Coleman and again Tony Lockett. All of these men listed feature as legends in the Hall of Fame as well. For the fabled 100 goal mark, well, Dunstall reached it 6 times in his 14 seasons, equating roughly to a 100 goal season, 43% of his time as a player. His highest total goal mark was in 1992 with 145 goals and 84 behinds coming in the 23 games that he played. It was a season performance fitting for the AFLPA MVP. He backed it up in 93 with another 123 goals. From a team perspective, Dunstall was a key pillar in a golden age at Hawthorn. He collected 4 premiership medals in 1986, 1988, 1989 and 1991, while leading the club as captain between 1995 and 1998. One last little point with Dunstall was his Brownlow polling. Surprisingly for a key forward, he polled over 15 votes in 4 separate seasons, and his total of 129 has him sitting at 57th. That might not seem amazing, but he is ahead all time of James Hird, Wayne Carey, Jimmy Bartell, Jason Ackermanis and his rival Tony Lockett, who polled 128 votes, just 1 less than Chief. He's become so well known in his media career and done such a good job when at Hawthorn as an administrator, we forget quickly how influential a player he was in the 80s and 90s. Now on that goal kicking list was Gordon Coventry. In Collingwood's long history, he sits right at the top as one of their greatest ever players. He was the captain between 1927 and 1934, leading the club to 4 straight flags from 1927 to 1930. But we focus on the first year of that four-peat. 97 home and away season goals in 1927 saw Coventry lead the VFL in goal kicking. This was in just 18 games. He also took home the Brownlow medal. His total of 7 votes looks laughable today, but the voting system until 1930 allocated just 1 vote per game. So getting 7 votes in 18 games is roughly equivalent to 7 best on grounds or 21 votes. That's a great season. His 1927 Brownlow medal and premiership as captain makes him the only player in history to achieve both. I could throw in leading the league in goals as well, but no one will ever do all three. Players who have come close include Marcus Bonampelli in 2021, who lost in the grand final and came 3 votes behind Ollie Wines in the Brownlow. And then there's Nathan Buckley, who tied to win the 2003 Brownlow, but lost by 50 points to Brisbane in that year's grand final. While Lachie Neale last season won the Brownlow medal in a surprise and was just 2 points off winning the grand final. It's been a rough start to 2024 for the Adelaide Crows. They sit with just 1 win and 5 losses after entering this season with lofty expectations. For this great fact, we venture in the past and some of their recent finals appearances. In 2017, they reached the grand final, falling short, but before then, all of their losses had a similarity. See if you can figure it out. In 2005 and 2006, the Crows lost to West Coast at the preliminary final stage. 2007 was the elimination final loss to Hawthorn. Then in 2008 and 2009, they lost a further 2 finals to Collingwood. 2012 was another preliminary final defeat, this time to Hawthorn, while 2015 and 2016 saw them lose at the semi-final stage to Hawthorn and then Sydney. 8 AFL season exits with one thing in common. Crows are pretty big birds, but if you couldn't figure it out, these 8 finals losses all came to teams that had a bird as their nickname. It's as quirky as a fact can get, but astonishing at the same time that a side named after a bird could have their season ended 8 times in a row to another bird. A former Adelaide player in Patrick Dangerfield holds another impressive record. In his prime, there weren't many better vote gatherers than Dangerfield, who took home the medal in 2016 and almost won it again in 2017. It was between these 2 seasons that an 11-game record run took place. Between round 16 2016 and round 3 2017, Dangerfield polled at least 1 Brownlow vote in each game. Going back to look at the numbers he put up, it really isn't any surprise he got a lot of votes. In the 11 straight games, he dipped below 30 disposals just 2 times, and in total kicked 18 goals. Some of his best performances include 31 disposals and 4 goals against Fremantle in round 17, 33 and 3 goals in round 19 against the Bulldogs, and the final game of the streak against Melbourne, where he had 36 disposals and 3 goals. No one has had a better Brownlow run than his, with Gary Ablett Jr. second with 9 straight games polling.